Hi, I'm Bob Hewes. I'm an executive coach, and today we're going to be talking about developing self and others. Whatever the day job is, there's a leadership and management that has to wrap around that. And that's what we work with people on. When we say development, it's developing leadership and management capability tailored to your organization. So now, when you think of developing oneself, there's these three main parts: assessment, action planning, and implementation. That makes it sound so simple. The trick and the magic is, well, what happens in each part? So assessment, that's really about insight. You usually are doing some form of style assessment. There's usually an organizational assessment. What is it that your job is and what's the business context? And then there is some form of feedback. Some people can be really freaked out about getting feedback, but there's a very important question we're trying to answer, and that is, how does an individual show up to others? And notice, I didn't say how that person thinks they show up. We want to know, how are they showing up to the others, so that you can really compare how I think I'm doing it and how it's actually going, because sometimes there are overlaps. Once you have all of that information, and there's some good insights there, you then put a plan together. You pick some good development goals. You've got to have a written plan. And in our case, we want a plan reviewed with the manager in a nice 3-person meeting. So there's really good alignment and support. And then the last part is implementing it. And this is where the rubber's going to meet the road on developing the practices, the disciplines, the good habits, so that you start making a shift from whatever you were before to the goals that you want. It could be playing off a strength or doing something brand new, or actually stopping doing something. I've seen this a lot. Somebody will have improved communications. What does that mean in your case? Are you talking to outside customers, or is it a lab environment? If you're an HR person, help get it articulated. Sometimes managers can't always describe what they're looking for. If I saw your action plan, or an HR person saw an action plan, and the name was off it, by reading the goal description, they'd go, oh, that's Sally's plan, or that's Bob's plan, or that's Nazir's plan. Whoever it is, they could tell it right away. At the executive level, I remember CEO just saying this, your goals are the company goals now. Now, do you have your own individual ones? Absolutely. But usually when you have them, they're not just vertical down anymore. They're going to require real good work with others. So I'd say yes, when people are promoted to more senior positions, it really changes what they need to do and what they have others needing to do. You've got to get good targeted goals and have them be written, right? But I'm going to assume, big assumption, everyone has that. Here are at least 3 things you need to do with it, though. One is you need to make it a shared joint plan. This should not be a top-down thing only. Another is help people put it in practice. There's a weird psychology that I think in development, we think, oh, I've got the plan and I help them get the plan. My job's done. Not at all. Think, you've got some review coming up. Could you actually position it so that your person that you know they need to develop presentation skills or communication skills gets a good opportunity to do that? I like to think work is a target-rich environment for almost any development goal you could mention to me. You've got to spot it, though. Otherwise, if the meeting will just go by and you go, oh, that would have been a perfect one to have Sean give that. So that's the second thing. The other is have regular discussions. It's not just this review, we're going over goals. Make it so that you're regularly talking about that. I can remember something from 1994 where we were doing a client presentation and there was this development moment that happened. That's decades ago. It still stands out to me. It's kind of a special thing. It's not like you're going around doing that every year, identifying a coach. So have a good idea of what you want to work on. I don't know, half the time goals will morph or just be completely different Once you get some feedback, you thought it was X, it turns out it really was Y. Here's the real challenging thing. You don't always want someone that you go, oh, I feel like I have a great fit. Because sometimes as a coach, we have to push people. That's about, are you willing to listen? And do you think you could learn from this person, learn from the interaction? We're really business coaches first. The method we're going at is to help you develop capabilities all the way to behaviors that help you be more effective in your job. Almost all the goals we work on should help in almost any type of leadership role. The degree to which they're relevant and you'll use them in the future, that's totally open. But if you start seeing, well, what do I think is the next step in my career? You can start developing those things now. Look, if I had 5 things to work on, pick the best 3 that you think are relevant to that. Will it always be? No, but you've done the best that you could by making the best guess you could. Development really never ends. What you're focused on, that changes all the time.